Welcome to the Daily Rebel, Saturday bonus edition, for men who are done playing games with their faith and ready to live it for real. No excuses, no hiding, no fluff, just truth that hits your life where it actually counts. Because your faith isn't proven by what you say, it's proven by how you show up and live. So step up, men, let's lock in and let's get to work. Yo, what's good, man? Here we go. It's been a great summer, and we are kicking off this first Saturday of August, and there's 5 Saturdays in August. And so I've been asked, hey, where are we going after the Summer Virtue Series? Well, for the next 5 weeks, we're going to label this No More Retreat, the 5 battles every man must win. No more retreat, the 5 battles every man must win. And the first battle is the battle for your appetites. So we're in a brand new series, No More Retreat, 5 battles every man must win. And listen, I want you to know, our culture has one message, and it's follow your heart and follow your desires. And where we're going to head for these next 5 weeks, we're going to talk about a guy named Samson. Samson is a guy that didn't lose his strength in one day. He retreated one compromise at a time. Before the Philistines ever defeated him, he already had surrendered ground in his heart. Every man is either advancing toward Christ or retreating into the flesh. I need you to understand that, because that's exactly where Samson failed. And over the next 5 episodes, we'll expose the battles that quietly defeat men long before anyone else notices, and learn how to stand firm through the power of Christ. So, again, our culture, follow your heart, follow your desires, do what makes you happy. If it feels right, go after it. If you want it, you deserve it. We've baptized appetite. We've called self-control oppression. We've confused desire with direction. But the Bible tells a different story, man. One of the strongest men who ever lived was destroyed because he never learned to tell himself no. Men, write this down. I need you to hear this. Your greatest battles will never be against the enemy around you. They'll be against the appetites within you. I need you to understand that. That is the big bottom line for today. Is your greatest battle will never be against the enemy around you. They'll be against the appetites within you. See, Samson, if you want to picture Samson, he's one of the most fascinating men in Scripture. He was born, before he was born, God already called him. An angel announced his birth to his parents. He was set apart as a Nazarite, chosen, empowered, and anointed. He would kill lions, defeat enemies, and carry city gates on his shoulders. And he had a lot of strength. I want you to picture Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with long black hair. That's what I picture Samson looking like. And here's the deal. Yet for all Samson's incredible strength, he had one glaring weakness. He never learned how to master himself. And that's where his downfall begins. Not in Delilah's lap, and not with cut hair, not in Philistine prison. It begins with one sentence. In Judges chapter 14, verse 3, we see this completely begin to spiral out of control when he sees a woman of another ethnicity, another tribe, and he says in the text, Judges 14:3, he says, "Get her for me." He's talking to his parents. "Get her for me. She's the right one for me." Or literally, "She is right in my eyes." That phrase tells us everything. Samson wasn't asking, hey, what does God want? Who does God want me to date? Who does God want me to marry? He was asking, what do I want? His life wasn't being led by conviction. It was being led by craving. And long before Samson lost his strength, Samson lost his standard. Remember, Samson was a Nazarite. God had already given him clear boundaries. He was set apart, different, holy. He was supposed to not cut his hair, to eat dead things that would defile him. He was meant to be set apart. And here's the deal. He almost immediately walks towards what God called him away from: a Philistine woman, a dead lion, and repeated compromise. See, the pattern isn't accidental. It's actually progressive. Every chapter begins with Samson wanting something, seeing something, and taking something. And his appetites become his compass. And whatever becomes your compass eventually becomes your master. And James says, we talked about this in our study in James, is each person is tempted when he is drawn away and enticed by his own evil desire. You see, Satan didn't have to invent new desires. He simply exploited the ones Samson never surrendered. So men, our generation has more access than any generation in history. One click, one swipe, one notification, one late night scroll leads to, maybe it's pornography, more food to become a glutton, more sports to get so involved with your feelings, more entertainment, more shopping, more scrolling through social. Like, none of these things have to be sinful in themselves. But here's the deal. But when your appetite becomes your authority, they become your master. Like, the thing is, the reason you're searching for pornography is because you have an appetite for, maybe you have an appetite for intimacy and you're trying to cave it there. You're trying to make sure it's not there, even though it's extremely sinful. Food, so no matter what, pornography is 100% sinful. But food, yeah, I mean, we got to eat. Sports are great things to watch. They're fun. Entertainment, it depends on what it is. But all of those things, man, like, we need to understand that the more we get consumed with them, the more sin we find ourselves in. And when your appetites become your authority, they become your master. We've become incredibly good at feeding every craving while starving our souls. We've trained ourselves to answer every impulse immediately, and God calls us to crucify them. Listen, a man cannot tell himself no. A man who cannot tell himself no will eventually tell God no. So let me give y'all 3 truths. Number 1, what you feed will grow. Every appetite gets stronger. Every appetite gets stronger when it's constantly satisfied. If you feed lust, lust is going to grow. If you feed greed, you're going to get more greedy. You feed selfishness, selfishness is going to grow. You feed your flesh is going to grow. Whatever you repeatedly feed will eventually lead. And Samson continued to feed his eyes. He would look and lust and want. He would be so entitled for his, and say, parents, get her for me. He was arrogant. He was a narcissist. He was a big old, buff dude that could get his way. But listen, whatever you repeatedly feed will lead, and eventually led to his downfall. Listen, your appetites never stay the same size. They either grow or they starve. What you feed will grow. Number 2, small compromises create big captivities. So Samson didn't wake up in chains. He drifted there. One compromise, one rationalization, one excuse, then another. You need to know the tragic ending of Samson's life started with the beginning of it. When he got older, when he started compromising. Nobody plans to destroy their marriage. Nobody plans to become addicted. Nobody plans to walk away from Jesus. It happens one unchecked appetite at a time. What you flirt with today may shackle you tomorrow. Which leads me to number 3. Self-control is a mark of spiritual strength. Our culture says if you feel it, follow it. The Spirit says if it's leading you away from Christ, crucify it. See, real strength isn't bench pressing 400 pounds. Real strength is saying no when your flesh screams yes. The strongest man in Israel could tear apart a lion, but he couldn't conquer his own cravings. Don't become physically strong. Don't become physically strong and spiritually weak. Listen, the strongest man isn't the one who can control everyone else. It's the man who can control himself. Listen, to Samson, here's the gospel shift. Samson points us to someone greater, where Samson constantly said, I want, get her for me. Jesus prayed, not my will, but your will be done. In the wilderness, Jesus was hungry, tempted, offered immediate satisfaction, yet every temptation was answered with joyful obedience to the Father. And where Samson gave in, Jesus overcame. Where Samson retreated, Jesus stood firm. And because Jesus conquered temptation, he doesn't just forgive our failures. He empowers us to fight them as well. You don't overcome your appetite by trying harder, men. You overcome them by walking daily with the one who already defeated sin, death, and Satan. So what appetite is leading your life? Is it your phone? Look at your notifications and look at your screen time and see how many things you constantly put your eyes on. Is it your anger? How often are you reacting? Is it your comfort, your lust, ambition, or entertainment? Whatever is controlling your desires is going to shape your destiny. Listen, don't wait until you're in chains to start fighting. Win the battle today. One decision, one prayer, one act of obedience, one surrendered appetite at a time. Before Samson ever lost his hair, he lost his hunger for holiness. If your appetites are leading you, then Jesus isn't. See you next week, men, on the Daily Rebel for Men. That's your Daily Rebel Saturday edition for the men. Now go live it. Lead yourself well. Don't keep it to yourself, because Redeemed Rebels, we don't just profess faith, we prove it. If you want to equip other men and grow their faith, share this with them, leave a 5-star review, and we'll see you next time on the Saturday bonus edition of